morning. We're here at the meeting of the Auburn Housing Authority Board of Commissioners for November 5th, 2024. Is called to order. We have a roll call vote.
Sharon Katina. Rose Turner.
Wayne Page. Thank you. This meeting is being recorded. Is there anyone in the audience who is recording? Seeing none, may I did that. Pledge allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Any public comment? I don't see any. Gary DePence will speak to us about the budget.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello. This year, the upcoming budget year, Boston, and I keep saying DHCD, but you got to remember it's EOHLC. Or,
That's what Dad's being in the military.
yes, in terms of their name change. But anyways, this year, in terms of the budget, they allowed a 12% increase to the ANUEL. With your budget package, if you want to flip to page 3, I can just show you what impact that has. Okay. Now this is regarding the state program, not the federal program, even though the federal part is part of our budget package. But you'll see the ANUEL went from 428,103 to 479,475. A substantial increase. Also that's included in that is for our air source heat pumps.
Yeah.
Last year they were funding that maintenance at $200 per unit. That did increase. So Auburn's total is $17,700. And that's an exemption over and above the annual non-utility expense level. And with the formula of our income from rental, the next year's subsidy would be $102,095. Okay. If you flip back to page 1 on that budget, you will see that that 102,095 subsidy is part of our revenue stream. We should account 3801. Okay. Probably the next thing I want you to look at is the schedule of salaries and positions, page 4 of 15. Should be like the 4th page in. This lists the administrative staff and maintenance staff and the proposed salaries. Now, I will tell you that one big change this year's from the budget guidelines is that we always, for maintenance, was limited to the labor and industry rates set by Department of Labor and Industries, which is something published every March 1st, or March 30th, effective April 1st. And we had to stay within in that budget, that number. This year they allowed us to budget a higher rate, meaning they now are saying that labor and industries is the minimum rate. They're finding that it's very difficult to keep and maintain maintenance men.
Well, oops.
Right, at the minimum rates.
Right.
So we've budgeted additional over and above the L&I, and you'll see the labor and industry rates are published on the left-hand side, and what we're budgeting is greater than that. Now, what happens is if we have a position where we're paying the budgeted amount, which will be effective on January 1st, and in April, if the L&I rates come in higher, we then have to pay that higher rate. We also included in this is an additional administrative position that at some point, I was talking with Lori, it's a bookkeeper clerk position. It's a part-time position that if the right candidate comes through, it would be really a help because there's so many changes that have come across in terms of really the administration
Right.
side. So that is included in that budget. Maintenance is basically the same, just rolls our positions over with those changes. Any questions on salaries?
No.
Okay. The other pages, the backbone of the authority, our property insurance, our workers' comp insurance, our Worcester County retirement contribution, our health care. And the other thing that we have in the budget guidelines this year they allowed was we've always been limited to paying a person if they were entitled to health care and did not take health insurance from the authority, we paid $1,000. They increased that this year up to $5,000. So that's something to just be aware of, that for those that are eligible for health care and don't take it because they're either covered by their spouse or someone else. And again, they have to prove that they do have coverage from, and then we can pay that additional.
We have 2 employees that opted out. So in the past, they did get the 1,000 and they'll be getting 5,000 now if they continue to opt out from
Right.
health insurance. Okay, so we do have 2 that currently are in that situation. Okay,
And that is something that health insurance cost is very expensive to the employer. And so 5,000 is still less than what it would be even if they had, if they took coverage.
and they do have to prove to us that they do have insurance.
Right. They
So,
can't just say
They
that they
can't
are.
just say,
I know.
take the
Yeah.
money and run.
That's good.
The other thing that did increase, and it was nice to get a 12% increase in the ANUEL, but our property insurance in the last 2 years has probably gone up 28 to 30%. And again, I mean, and the property insurance is something that is bid at the state level for all the subsidized units across the Commonwealth. So even though we know it's gone up, it's still less expensive on our state program than it is on our federal. Okay. Budgeting this year for non-routine items. I've kept it, and I've talked to Lori. We feel like our equipment side, capital equipment, is fine. Trucks, lawn mowing equipment. There was nothing we have to do. So I've only budgeted for apartment turnover and emergencies as needed. I put $20,000 aside, and that would be monies that come out of our operating reserves. And again, it's there to be used only if we need it.
Right.
If you flip to page 7 of 15, this gives an idea of our operating reserve. We have a maximum reserve of $346,798, minimum reserve of $69,360. Just to show you, the actual operating reserve last year when we closed the books was $161,173. Our current budget is estimating that we're actually going to be putting money into the reserves, meaning that we're really not spending all our resources.
Right.
So our reserve would be ending at $169,574, and this current budget that you're voting on today basically level funds, meaning I've put monies in our maintenance, primarily maintenance, contract cost of maintenance materials and supplies equal to what our resources are. So we're saying that our reserves would be at $169,574 or 49%. Good percentage to be at. You don't want to be below 35, you don't want to be above 100 or above 70, but that percent is very good.
So we're doing well.
We are,
Sounds like
on the
we are.
financial side, yes. And the thing to think about is that when we close our books the end of this year, when come January, February, when you're getting your year-end reports, that number to look at for operating reserve is important, and that's going to compare that to the $169,574. And I can pretty much tell you it will not be lower than that. It will be higher than that. because I feel like we're not spending really all our resources this year. Okay. Our 689 budget, that's our budget, and I know we're
We're good.
working on
Yep.
the rental income on that we do not get subsidized as we do. We have to live that program within our revenue stream, meaning what we charge. What we do have to require by our budget guidelines is to have a lease that has a minimum rent of $341 per unit. And Lori's making sure we do that. That one also, our reserve level would be roughly at 60%. And again, our operating reserve, that's page 11 of 15, where our reserve would be about 9,844. It's a very small amount, and yes, that could get eaten up very quickly if something major happens. Those are our two state programs. Our federal program, the 159, federal, looks very good. We actually have submitted and got approved already of our operating subsidy for calendar year 2025. Surprisingly, HUD has moved things up. We used to be, at one point we used to do it March, and then it was moving back to January. Then it finally came back to November or December last year, and this year we actually did it just last month. That's all done online, and so the subsidy calculation has already been approved, and actually the federal subsidy is $242,023. So even when it comes to subsidy, I know we have a few more units by the federal than we do the state, but you can see the difference when it comes to subsidy. We're getting $242,000 on the federal side compared to $102,000 on the state side. So even though the state has really improved over the years in terms of our expense level allowed in subsidy, it still isn't at the level of the federal. Okay,
So when
that's
they
just
say that the federal program has more money, they do.
They do,
They
Yep.
do. Considerably
Yep.
more.
yes. And our reserve level in the federal is estimated to be at $690,000. So even our operating reserve is much better. That's kind of the broad picture of our budget. I mean, there's a lot of detail in here if anyone has any questions, or other than that, I think something to review.
What do you think?
I think you did a very good job on it. And I like the increases that
Yep,
they're doing too.
Absolutely.
it is. It's been, 10 years ago, we were, really scrimping, really was on the state side. So it's been, we have to thank our legislature for that. We really do, the state, in terms of that. So with that, if you'd like, I could read the motions that you need to accept.
Sure.
I would move that you would, that the proposed operating budget for state-aided housing of the Auburn Housing Authority, program number 400-1 for fiscal year ending 12/31/2025, showing total revenue of $693,595 and total operating expenses of $693,595, thereby requesting a subsidy of $102,095. And further, that the executive director's total annual salary of $100,433 for the fiscal year ending 12/31/2025 be submitted to the Department of Housing and Community Development for its review and approval.
Could I have a motion?
I make a motion to accept.
Second.
Second motion to accept.
All in favor? Well, any questions? Sorry. None? Okay. All approved? Aye.
Okay.
None opposed.
Okay, that's one. And now the signature pages for everyone, there'll be 2 pages to go around where you just need to print your name and sign and date. And then I'll make the second motion is for the proposed operating budget for state-aided housing of the Auburn Housing Authority, program number 689-1.
That's you.
for fiscal year ending 12/31/2025, showing total revenue of $33,036 and total expenses of $33,036, thereby requesting a subsidy of 0, and further that the executive director's total annual salary of $100,433 for the fiscal year ending 12/31/2025 be submitted to the Executive Office of Living Communities, or what is that? No, executive, no, it's the EOHLB, Executive Office of Living Community, right? B, for its review and approval.
Wow,
I know.
come on, take it easy.
Gotta remember.
Can I have a motion on that, please?
I make a motion to accept.
I'll second the
Second.
motion.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all approved?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Rosie, you sign
Unapproved,
here
nobody.
under Wayne, right here. So you print, then sign it, and then date. And Sharon's under you. Okay?
That's budget.
Got it?
Lori, I think you still have to get everyone's signature for the, even if they're not present.
Right.
Yep.
No kidding.
She'll have to come in and sign. Or they won't accept it.
Right. When you sign your the calculation sheet. The calculation sheet. Always got to sign that.
Yep.
This is mine?
Signature sheet.
Okay.
And then you date it. Okay, so this is. Okay, this goes with this. And this goes with this.
You know what's interesting is they have these are
Well,
forms
I got
printed
printed
out from
out
their
too.
reports, and they still
Yeah, because it's
still have
easier.
DHCD.
Okay, so these are all set. Great. Okay, move it on.
We all set?
Yep.
Okay. Vote on the budget, we just did that. You do his contract,
Gary's contract.
defense contract. You guys have it, I don't know if you looked at it. You did? Okay, then I need a motion to accept.
I make a motion to accept
Gary
the
Defense
PACE contract.
Second,
Second motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None.
Okay, so
You're all set, boss.
Well, thank you. I
Appreciate it. Go if you would like.
Okay.
okay, you're gonna sign here, and I'm gonna sign underneath. Okay?
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Gary.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
As always.
Thank you.
That's great.
Okay, so that's that. Now it's mine.
Yep. I need a motion to accept executive director's contract. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to accept director executive contract.
And I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None.
Okay,
Okay?
yep, that's done.
Minutes of October 3rd, 2024. Vote. Do I have a motion?
I motion to approve minutes of October 3rd, 2024.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Okay. Vote. Minutes of October 17, 2024. Do I have a motion?
I have motion to accept minutes of October 17, 2024.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Vote for check registers for August 2024.
I motion to accept the check registers for August 2024.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All in
Okay.
favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Go ahead.
September and October, we're gonna put off. September is actually in the book, but September and October
September,
will be at the
October.
next meeting,
Okay.
okay? So no vote on that.
Okay. Okay, I need a motion for veterans preference policy for the federal side. May I have a motion?
I motion to accept veterans' preference on
Policy. Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Any public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on. Make a motion to adjourn. Or anybody got anything to say or discussion or anything before we adjourn? Okay,
And the next meeting will
is,
be the first Tuesday of the month. So that'll be December, whatever,
December 1st Tuesday.
at 10 a.m.
first Tuesday of the month,
Okay.
10 a.m.
First Tuesday of the month at 10 a.m.
Okay. Now I need a motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Everybody have a good day. Thank you.